Well, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good day, depending on where you are in the world. Happy Thursday, mostly happy Thursday. We're another day closer to the end of the week. I don't know how that keeps getting louder and louder every time I do things. Yeah, so I was hoping that everything was going to work well today with the Microsoft servers, and since they put out some sort of patch today, I'm getting the death stutters on whether I'm using generic models or not. There's nothing more I can do really. So we're using JoinFS. I know that's kind of a iffy topic. But you know, it's the best option to be able to do a group flight. Because the Asobo server, the Asobo is broken multiplayer for Flight Sim. The world update and the hotfix and today's hotfix have done nothing to help with that. Murph with the tier 1 9-month streak, we could have had a baby in that time. Glad you're here, dude. You've been an inspiration and a great help to me in the past 9 months, so cheers to you, dude. Thanks so much. Dougal's getting the same with the multiplayer. Yeah, Steam's weird. I would have never recommended. When anybody has asked me about, you know, should I get Flight Sim on Steam or should I get it through the Microsoft Store, I've heard of way too many issues with Steam to ever recommend it for Flight Sim. It's great for a lot of other things, but there's too many issues when it comes to Flight Sim and Microsoft Flight Simulator for me to ever, in good conscience, recommend it. So yeah, we're here. We're gonna go through 3 states today. I'm trying to keep positive. I'm really trying. It's incredibly frustrating to deal with the server issues until Asobo gets their act together and actually fixes it. Multiplayer flying is broken for a lot of people, so for the foreseeable future, until Asobo actually fixes stuff, we're going to use JoinFS. Although JoinFS doesn't use the community folder, so it should be fine. But, you know, regardless, it doesn't use anything in the community folder that I'm aware of. Either way, just the way things are. Until the sim gets fixed properly, our best option for group flying is going to be on JoinFS. It sucks. Well, JoinFS doesn't suck. It sucks that the core sim is something core to the sim is broken. Not much that can be done until the developer fixes it. Just improvise, adapt, and overcome. So we're gonna go into the chat and say hello to everybody. Botup is here. Cap@9 is here. Hope you're both doing well. Viper Strike's still trying to retake the lead in the landing challenge. You getting a little obsessed with that, dude. Wayland is here. Good to see you. Good conversation on Discord, Wayland, about the differences between things like the Spit, the P-40, and the Corsair, and even the German fighters. 99 Owls in. Good evening to you. Seamus is here. Good to see you. Dougal is, having the same death stutters as me. Kingsman's here. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Shuffle Shoes is here. Good to see you. Hanging in there. Making do with what we've got. Scorpio 49 is here. Good evening. Yeah. Connect those shows not working orange. Not sure. As Pyro Tech is here and with the follow. Many thanks, my dude. Hope you're well. Getting in something wrong for is same for me with multiplayer. Pilot Peely is here. Good to see you. There's Two-Tone with a 9-month subscription. Hope you're well, my dude. Good evening, all. Says Goblin. Hope for a better time for multiplayer later. Yeah, we're gonna be sticking with Join FS because the MS servers are giving me the death stutters, and it's unplayable. It's the opposite. I can see the sky. Mechanical Madness is here. Good to see you, dude. Pilot here. Hi, I'll be watching for a bit. Then I got an errand. Roger that, Pilot Pee-wee. It does if you link the models to your community folder. Well, it doesn't go in the community folder. It just scans it, so it doesn't technically need it. It just scans it to see if there's any liveries or model matching. That's all. It doesn't actually go in. It doesn't install it into it. Was what I was getting at. Keen Ladford is in. Hello, hello. Deep Futures here. Good evening to you. Happy and celebrating as that's awesome, Dougal. It's always glad to hear. Hope you're. I hope and pray for a speedy recovery for you, Dougal. Kozaki Flyers in. Howdy, howdy. Mechanical Business with the Fly 45 Jord. Howdy, Kozaki. Ever since the World Update multiplayer has started for everyone, yeah, it's definitely not just me. It's been a global issue, and they're not, they haven't fixed it yet, which is very concerning that they've let it go this long. Only 25 days to the Eurovision. Awesome. Indeed. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. We see some movement here on the ramp. Of course, you can't see it because I'm right there. So, we're going to unmute the sim because, everybody likes hearing the sim. And we're flying the KRNC arrow. Because, well, I like to be different. I'm not saying that the Just Flight one is bad, it's just I like this one and nobody else is showing it off, and I'm going to be that one to show off something different. One of my classic sayings is dare to be different. Scorpio 49, I'll have to set up Genesis tomorrow. The sim has been okay for me to reinstate Windows. Following today's small sim update. I've not reinstalled the Windows update, so maybe I need to. I don't know. I was flying the P40 earlier today around Honolulu, and everything was fine. But as soon as people started showing up in here with the Microsoft servers, it was just not good. Since I rolled back my Windows update and used a different server than North Europe, my system is running much better. See, I'm on East USA and I was getting it. I have the update. Was it the KB something or other 1337 or something? 5001337, I think it was. Rolled that back. I haven't reinstalled it yet, and it's even on East USA. It was just bad. It was bad, unplayable. So yeah, we are in the KRNC Piper Arrow. And we're going to make our way down to Talladega, Alabama. We're starting off in Tennessee, near Nashville. We'll be heading down towards Talladega, Alabama, with a stop in Georgia. So we're going to hit 3 states today. Yeah, see, it's not that I don't believe y'all, it's just I don't, at this point, I've lost faith and trust in the Microsoft servers. I've tried, and at this point in time, I'm willing just to call it for right now using Plan B. We'll keep an eye on it for sure, see how Murphy's stream goes tomorrow, and, we'll adjust accordingly. If things smooth out tomorrow, huzzah. If they don't, well, the important thing is we do have the plan B of just flight, join FS, and right now that's what I'm gonna stick with. Good so far for me as well, both on North Europe and East US, but it was really bad yesterday. Yeah, it was really bad for me today. Just getting the stream up and rolling. So I don't know. It's affecting everybody a little differently, which is incredibly frustrating. I can understand it's frustrating for a developer too, but it's my situation, and well, unfortunately I have to use JoinFS. 40 Gumble is in. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. A little frustrated. Having to use JoinFS. Not that JoinFS is bad, but Microsoft servers are not playing nice with me today, so we're using JoinFS for multiplayer. Hope you're doing well, 40 Gumble. We're here in the Coronado Piper area. We're going to get going because we have we have a flight to get down to. We have a flight to get down to. We have a place to get down to. Oh, rattle's cracked. Getting our avionics going. Nav lights are on. Taxi lights. There's no taxi lights. I'm now getting stutters on JoinFS 2. Interesting. If I go out, I see other aircraft. I'm not getting the stutters though. Don't you know when people just stroll into your prop? Well, he's free to do what he wants to do. If he wants to, do that, well, my sympathies, dude. You probably should have gotten therapy first, but yeah, we'll just ignore him. It's a great plan B. It's frustrating because trying to get everybody together, and with things being the way they are, it is what it is. I could waste too much of my time being all up in arms about it. The important thing is y'all are here, y'all are in the chat, and we got a flight to do, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Oh, that squawking VFR. And it's like I said, improvise, adapt, and overcome. It's frustrating, it's annoying, but it is what it is. And you can always follow along. You're always welcome to do that on the servers. I'm on Flight Tracker, or the Flight Events Tracker. Yeah, that thing. Also on JoinFS, so you can follow along on a little nav map. So there's still options to fly along. Don't let that discourage you. It's just, you may not see me unless you're on JoinFS or that. I think the starters are more than direct connection to the server's multiplayer. I got starters all parked on the ground. It's all something that you're not wrong, Epic, but a lot of those features are all still tied to the servers. What's comparable aircraft to the Arrow? Bonanza will be, if you're talking default aircraft, the Bonanza, the SR-22, the DA-40, all should be fine. The Cessna 182 from Coronado, the PA-44, the Mooney, all will be plenty fast enough. Shows me it's not connected. How about now? I mean, I was connected the whole time. Yeah, for servers that meant multiplayer, everything we're trying to do is still, yeah. I mean, all the frames are usually the worst on the ground than they are in air. I mean, I was connected the whole time, 99. I don't know what you're talking about. So let's get this show on the road. We've got as Jerry Reed once so eloquently put it, we've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. We're eastbound. Let's watch Old Bandit run. Flyware, we tried the East USA server, but we are on Join FS. Well, hopefully you get to feeling better there, like the program, but glad to see you in the chat regardless. Hope you start feeling better soon, my dude. Okay, lights are on. Turn the landing light on now. Be too bad. A little caffeine to get the day started. Feeling with this stuff from. Yeah, a lot of different reactions to that stuff. So we are running on live weather. The in-sim time is roughly 6:45. Ooh, MB339. Squirrel. You got a DA62 on the ramp. We'll taxi into position and hold for everyone. Why, yes, it is Mr. Jay Winokur, whom I've never seen before. This is that flight sim thing. I believe it's called DCS World. Joey Bolo 77, good afternoon to you as well. Hey, we got people coming in. We got an SR-22, we got a Mooney, we got, appears to be a 172. Got a DA62. So, without further ado, we got someone else taxiing up, so we might give them a moment. I'm so sorry. Joey Bolo. Words, tongue. I don't have enough of this in me to speak right yet. My goodness, I'm so sorry. So it looks like we're going to have a bit of a crosswind if we look over at the windsock. I think we'll go ahead and get rolling and get this party started. Don't hit the DA62. That thing's expensive. So aileron into the wind. We've got a little bit of left rudder. Not enough left rudder. It's a pretty good crosswind we got going. Pull up. Tap the toe brakes. Don't let the nose dip. Gear coming up. There's actually a signal station called Forks to the east of the airport. Ooh, nice. I approve. Okay. Enough to get the flaps up. Did I even put them? They may not have even been down. So we'll start our left-hand turn. Now, I absolutely love the paint job on this Aero. I just love it. It's so good. I'd love to be able to change the colors on it for, you know, me. But as of current, it's out of my skill set. We're getting a nice look at the airfield. And as the chat message will remind you, don't forget to keep hydrated. Roger, RC75 is in. Good to see you, dude. One more loop around the airfield. I say loop, circuit, orbit. It's hard keeping track of aircraft with it. Yeah, it really is. I will say this, having the flight tracker software is really handy, or even a little nav map. It's still more difficult than having labels, but as far as I'm aware, the Joint FS developer is working on it, but it's currently a limitation by Asobo. Go figure. Because I believe VATSIM and vPilot still have the same limitation as Joint FS. Because they kind of do things in a similar way as far as ejecting aircraft. You don't get labels with the VATSIM aircraft just like you don't with the Joint FS ones. Yeah, Epic, you're spot on. They both work real well for that. It's not nearly as easy as having the labels, of course, but I mean, you do what you can with what you got. Alright, so our altitude is there, so we're going to do vertical speed. Oh, we want to turn you on. Autopilot on. We're on nav mode, so we're going direct to. We're going to say goodbye to this little airport. This is Glasgow, by the way. Glasgow, Tennessee. We're going to cruise right around 3,500 feet, so 3,500. We're on the correct altimeter setting. Just going to wait for that guy to get down to the 5, and we'll hit the altitude hold button on the AP. After we get that set, we'll set our cruise power. For Mercedes, I was flying, looking at little nav mats, so I didn't move the camera away from him. Right on. Altitude. So that's good. So now we'll set our engine settings. We're going to go up to 24 on manifold pressure, but we're going to go down to 24 on... I have one complaint about the Carenata one. It's just the RPM lever is very... It likes to overshoot. We'll start adjusting our mixture a little bit. Not that we need a ton at this altitude, but just a little bit of... right there. Puts our fuel flow at about 11 gallons an hour. So, welcome to Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, which I believe is in this direction. So again, I hope everybody's been having a decent week. Certainly been an interesting one from Microsoft, or from the perspective of flight simming. We got the P40 today, and that's awesome. What's funny is I had joked last night about going to bed early and getting up early in order to get it right at 7 o'clock. I wasn't very serious about doing it. Well, I went to bed and about a little before my normal time, but not drastically. Had a real intense dream that, without getting too much into it, involved standing up for what I believe in. So that was good. But then I woke. It got to the point where it just jarred me awake. Sure enough, it was 7:30, and I wasn't tired, or at least I wasn't immediately ready to go right back to sleep. So I looked at the time, saw it was 7:30. I'm just like, P40 should be out by now. So I got up, checked my computer. Sure enough, there it was. So I got it. And then went back to bed. Got up and kind of did a couple of things. One of the first things I ended up doing was testing out that P40, and man, is it a beautiful airplane. The textures are wonderful. The modeling is wonderful. It flies well. It takes off very nicely. I'd say it's easier to manage the rudder on takeoff in the P40 than it is on the Spit. Flies beautifully. Landing is the tricky part, but that's all about managing your power on final, keeping your speed up. You want to keep it right around 100 or above, or a bit above on final until you're right over the threshold. Oh, the sounds are amazing. I kind of wish the cockpit sounds had a bit more bass to them, but other than that, that's not even a complaint. The P40 is easier to trim the Corsair. Yes. I flew it around without trimming it too much at all. But the way I was flying it, I wasn't exactly doing straight and level flight. But I think it's easier than the Corsair is. I am indeed on live weather Purple Kona. I'm not all convinced about the flight model of the P40. I think it's fine. I'm just gonna try my first takeoff in the P40 right now. Roger that, Roger. Roger, Roger. Oh, the Allison sounds are amazing. Fun fact also about the P40. The only people that referred to it as anything but, or as the Tomahawk, or in the later models the Kitty Hawk, were the British Commonwealth forces and the Russians. Everybody else, including the United States, always called it the Warhawk. But for whatever reason, the UK and our Commonwealths didn't like the name Warhawk, so they called it a Tomahawk or a Kitty Hawk. The Russians kind of followed suit, but from the get-go, it was always called the Warhawk by the US. Yeah, no, the P40 is great. The P40 is just beautiful. In fact, I may fly it for the last leg of tonight's flight, just to kind of give you a preview. Maybe. If everything goes well. So we still have some fireflies with us tonight. We can see them. Oh dear, too much, too far, too close. I'm only getting clear skies and major starters with multiplayer and JoinFS disconnected. That does sound like something is wonky. I was only getting the major stutters with the multiplayer enabled. With JoinFS, I'm having, I think it's fine, or it's been fine. Corsair is always welcome. P-40s are welcome. Spitfires are welcome. I'll never say no as long as it's not an airliner. Warbirds are welcome. I might give East US another shot when we get to the next airport. But for now, we're gonna stick with JoinFS just to kind of see how it goes. C-17 it is. That doesn't count as a warbird. Warbirds are old and retired airplanes. The C-17's in use. That doesn't count as a warbird. Mr. Loophole Man. Bring my Corsair at a later time. Gonna leave after the fair. That's fair. I recently learned the French had a squadron of P-40 in Morocco during World War II. That sounds about right. The P-40 was used by a lot of different air forces in the early stages of the war, in the late 30s and even into the early 40s. A lot of countries used it. It was a great fighter. It basically turned into the American equivalent to the Hurricane, where it was a really good fighter, but it never really got the credit it deserved. I mean, most notably, people only really remember the P-40 for Pearl Harbor and the American Volunteer Group in China, the Flying Tigers. Beyond that, it had a strong presence in history in the North Africa campaign, in the Mediterranean. And it served everywhere. In the Australians and New Zealanders used it quite extensively in the Pacific. It was a great airplane. Hey, you know what they say, Dougal? Great minds think alike. And it's a good aircraft. It really is, and it just doesn't get the credit it deserves. It's so overshadowed by the P-51. Much like the Hurricane gets outshadowed by the Spitfire. Both, not to say that the Mustang and the Spitfire weren't good aircraft, they obviously were. They just get more credit than they should, because there's a lot of other aircraft that did a lot of heavy lifting for the war effort back in the day. Yeah. And the P-36 was the direct predecessor. But the P-40, it's a good aircraft. The Warhawk is so underrated. It's crazy. And Big Radials, for their debut aircraft, phenomenal job. Oh yeah. Well, and see, that's one of the characteristics of most American fighter aircraft, whether it be the Navy or the U.S. Air Force or Army Air Force, whatever you want to call it. Our aircraft could really soak up damage because they're bigger, they're heavier, but had more armor, and they could take a beating and keep going. Japanese aircraft couldn't really do that as well. German aircraft could do it better than the Japanese, but they're still, in comparison, more fragile. There's nothing wrong with that, Waylon. Honestly, $35 Australian. It's about $28, $27, $28 US. It's not a bad price. It's what, $5-10 cheaper than the Corsair. The only bug that I've noticed with it is the elevator trim tab animation is backwards. So you go to trim up, and the tab visually outside trims for nose down. That's it that I've noticed anyway. No, I know we lost the word, but I would absolutely love a 109 or FW190. No, it's $35 Australian. I think I paid after taxes or whatever, and international fee. I think it was just a tad over $28 US. So it's significantly cheaper than the Corsair, however you spell it. Cheaper. I say cheaper. I mean less expensive. Let's see. Because science. BigRadios.com. And if you take that out of context, let's see. Okay, if I have a gripe about their website, they should specify 35 Australian. Let's see if we can try that. UK. Yeah, it's not showing up on their website. It's not showing. It's showing it as $35, but it doesn't specify that it was Australian. Let's see if I can find my receipt without giving away too much information. Oh, there you are. Big radios. Well, I'm trying to do this without giving too much away. I don't know if you can see that, but it's in Australian. So means I paid, around $28 US for it. Bottom line. Do you have to pump up the hydraulics like the? You can, but I can't show you. You can, but it does have the hydraulic system with the lever thing, thumb button, that eventually got moved to a pinky lever. So it's 35 monies. Yeah. Goblin says €23.50. But you can pump the hydraulics in it if you want. They beautifully mastered this because they make it so where you have to read the manual, but they also made it so you don't have to. So you can fly it casually, or you can fly it by the numbers if you want, and it's seamless. I don't know how they did it, but they managed to do it. It's awesome. They really did a great job with it. I'm very pleased. Because they kind of made it good for everybody. The hardcore, I want to read the manual and do this and whatever. Makes them happy, but it's also, I want to get in and fly the darn airplane. Makes them happy too. And they've cleverly hidden modern radio and transponder and the, well, we'll call them the realism switches for the lack of a better term, in the guns. Where the guns would be, they hid the radios and realism switches in there, which is clever. 4K skin in the cockpit, it's gorgeous. We are 40. I'm kind of gushing about how amazing and awesome and beautiful it is. Because it just is. Yeah. I mean, and for $28 US, was it 24 euro, 35 Australian, it's a really good price for it too. Oh, they took it to a whole new level. The sounds are awesome, the model's awesome, the flying it's awesome, the textures are awesome. It's just so good. Check our directional gyro, it's good. Altitude's gone up, so let's check our altimeter. Yeah, it's a little better. No, the Alice is so good. It's just... It's if you love warbirds, it's worth the fly or buy. Then again, I was happy with the Corsair, and I'm still happy with the Spit. I think I've spent about an equal amount of time in the Spitfire and the Corsair, and I'm going to end up spending a lot of time in the P-42. Yeah. 100% 40. We do need to find a way to stage my... Oh, absolutely. Yeah, epic. I've heard it. Heard many air shows. Yeah. I know, Dougal. It's insane. You get all these aircraft, and it's just like, well, and it almost gets worse when you're streaming because you have to be like, okay, I need this airplane for this flight, that airplane for that flight, but I've got all these other airplanes that I want to fly, and it's a massive juggling match. And we have the whole world to fly it in too, so it's equally hilarious. Uh-oh, someone went down into the trees. My money's on Epic. So I think we're starting to get into Georgia. As Z-Dog is now fallen. Many thanks, dude. Hope you're well. Hope you enjoy the flight. We're making our way down from near Nashville, Tennessee, down into Talladega, Alabama, for the big race this weekend. Pro tip, don't type and fly aerobatic without autopilot. Yeah, that's a good tip. That is a great tip. You're from Alabama. Awesome, dude. EL737 is in. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're well. So I know it's a little late, as we've already kind of passed it, we overflew a town called Difficult. If you look on the VFR chart, you got Pleasant Shade, you got Granville, you got Stone, you got Dixon Springs, and then you have Difficult. Would not want to live there. We're just east of Nashville. There's Cedar Crest, Lafayette. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I guess we started further north. Did we actually start in Kentucky? We may have actually started in Kentucky. Well, that means we're just going to be in 4 states. The difficult dentist. I had to zoom out. Yeah, but yeah, so okay, so now we're almost what's the word? A beam of Nashville. I flew over Batman once. It's in Turkey. Nice. So I guess we started in Kentucky. We've flown into Tennessee. We'll make a stop in Georgia before heading into Alabama. We're here on the the Two-Tone Murphy Join FS server because, well, I was getting the death stutters on the East USA server, and that's no bueno. So we're going with our plan B, and so far it's working out fairly well. There's a ton in Austria that's actually... Yeah. I remember that. It's kind of a shame, though, but it's totally understandable why. It's one of those aw kind of moments. See what you did there. Oh goodness. So far it seems the weather's been pretty nice in this part of the world. I really do like both the Just Flight Aero and the Coronado Aero, just because they're both good airplanes. They just represent two variations and versions and eras, or whatever you want to call it, of the Piper Aero. You know, this is more of the modern era, you know, much like the PA-44 and the upcoming Seminole. Or no, the PA-44 is the Seminole. The Seneca that's coming out soonish. I'd give it another week and that thing will come out, unless they surprise us tomorrow. And they both have good points and bad points. I think the Just Flight Aero still taxis too easily. This one might take a little too much to get going. But you're talking about a modern Aero versus a classic Aero. Something that you're probably more likely to see, you know, out in the GA world. And they're both great. They both fly great. I like the autopilot better in this. I like this paint job a whole lot better than any of the ones that come with the Just Flight one. I just want to swap the colors around. Like, I want the white on this one to be black. I want the black to be red. And then I want the red accent to be gold. And the number 2. And that could be my Colonel Fort Piper Arrow. But it's a great, they're both great planes for different reasons. This one sure has a better price point too. I'm on ECA, no stars, mid-50s FPS. There's about a dozen here. How are you guys? Joint FS is doing quite well. There's let's see, how many of us are there? Session. No, we'll go to aircraft. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's about 8 of us over on Joint FS, and things are pretty darn smooth. Oh, jeez. You know, and it could have been just the location of, you know, that airport was particularly bad for the server. I don't know. At this point, it's really hard to say. But it is what it is. We're going to find ways to be able to do multiplayer flying regardless. We got about 8.5 minutes. But yeah, I kind of like, I like the look of the interior of both the Just Flight one and this. I'm more accustomed to not having the shoulder belt and just having a lap belt, but that's for other reasons. But they're both great airplanes. Like you can see the PBR material, you know, where it's, you see dents here and there and scuff. You know, they just did a really good job with them. Hello, little town. That's very true, Kozaki. I think it's the way that, from what I hear, because there's not a lot of Coronado repaints in general, the way they do their templates makes it difficult to do these. And why, I don't know, but that's just what I understand anyway. That's what I'm given to understand. Which is unfortunate, but you know, what can you do other than hound Coronado and say, hey, make these easier to repaint? And honestly, I think a lot of people were just fanboying over the Just Flight one, so they didn't even give the Coronado one a shot. Because one of the biggest complaints that I've seen that I consider a non-argument is the quote-unquote copy-paste instrument panel. Now, sure, it does look a lot like the Seminoles, but if you think about it, if they're both the Seminole and this were representing a 90, maybe aircraft built in the 90s, well, for a lot of reasons, they're going to have a similar instrument panel because production costs, it's a lot easier to produce something, you know, similar across different aircraft. Some people would say brand identity, which I think is more applicable in cars than it is airplanes, but not, you know, completely out of the box. But it's mostly the production costs, and production cost even goes into, you know, making a 3D model or a sim aircraft. You know, when you can reuse things like instruments or the panels, yeah, they're going to look similar. And you know, the Seneca looks to have a lot of similar features to the Seminole and to the Arrow. But when you think about it, well, there's a reason for it, and there's a perfectly rational explanation for it. I get I wish they would have gone with something like a Cessna twin, like a Mixmaster or a 310, instead of another Piper, but it is what it is. Last thing I repainted was in FS9 a TU-22. I don't think I've ever done repaints for an aircraft. I've only done race cars. Yeah, and that's exactly it, Nighty Night Owl. I mean, say if I were to go look at a 2015 Dodge Charger. Well, then I go look at a 2015 Dodge Dart, or a Dodge Challenger. They're all going to have a lot of similar cues in the way the instrument panel is, the way the dashboard is, the trim. A lot of that stuff's going to be very similar. I think the brand that leans more into the brand identity, but a lot of it still goes into just production costs, and the more things you have similar in a car, and this is especially true even back in the 70s with muscle cars. You can the Olds 442, the Chevelle. They're very similar with a subtle tweak here and there with headlights or taillights or the C-pillar. Subtle differences, but a lot of similar parts under the hood. So that's kind of why I don't consider the copy-paste instrument panel a really reasonable argument, because there's a really good explanation as to why they look similar. Magic 888 is in. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We're discussing the differences of the Arrows and how they're both awesome aircraft. Coronado 1's much more accessible, too, just because of price. Yep, so we're almost there. So we're going to look in, zoom out on there. There's our airport. Now we want to look at point frequency. So we want AWAS. We want to go to COM2. We're going to tune to 135.525. Oops, too far. 135.525. Wind 264. So we want runway 23. My 69 Mustang dash looked like a Pontiac. Hey, Colonel, just walked in the door. Going to be joining presently. Roger that. We're about to land at Kilo Romeo November Charlie. Kilo Romeo November Charlie. So we're going to go ahead and disable the autopilot. I think that's the airfield down yonder. Drop a mixture to full. Get that to where it's going to hush. Gear coming down. There's a notch of flaps, trimming to compensate. I'll add another one in. Pilot Peely is back. Welcome back, my dude. Here we go. Now we're keeping an eye out the right side for the runway. Got 2 notches of flaps in. We'll go ahead and add that third and final one. Still on leg 1. We're just finishing leg 1. we're just landing at Kilo Romeo November Charlie for our very first landing of the evening. Wayland's off. Glad to have you along, Wayland. You take care, rest well, and we'll catch you next time. Trim up to lose some speed. Roger that, Peely. We're still high on the glide slope, but that's okay. We're trimming for speed. Going for distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in her time of need. Okay, so we're getting on glide slope, so we're going to add a little bit of power so we don't sink too deep. Make sure that we're at full flaps, and we are. This one does, the Coronado floats a bit more than the Just Flight ones. There's 30 foot a minute. How about them apples? So we'll get to this next taxiway. We'll pull off. Turn around and watch some other landings. So when I go to reload, go to the menu to reload, we will turn on the East US servers just to see how they're behaving, and if they're going, if it goes well, we'll leave it on both. We're going to stay on Join FS regardless. Oh, you knew. So let power off. Make sure that it records the flight just in case sim crashes. Do this. Do that. Do this. Hide me. We got a Bonanza down. Runway 23 is open for landings. Got 172 in. Should have a couple more inbound. There we go. There's somebody inbound. I understand the Windows patch that Mirth linked me yesterday is much better. And see, I've got it uninstalled. And I have. So... But with today's little hotfix, unless Windows decided that, oh, I'm going to reinstall this because of, you know, reasons. As Pilot Peely just subscribed for 3 months in advance. Many thanks, dude. Much appreciated. Well, it looks like we got a Mooney inbound. But we will give the East USA server another shot, see if it helps out. There is. It's supposed to have updated the nav data mostly, but it might have also fixed some add-on airports. which I'm really hoping it fixes the Mid-Michigan airport pack, because I love that airport pack. Nicely done, Mooney. So I think that makes the pattern clear. All right. So we'll do that. Switch to here. And we'll go to here whilst we update the load in the next leg of the flight plan. Oh, Philly Roach is here, gifting 3 tier 1 subs to the community, going to Eitlor, Anime Birder, and Royal Chuck 14. Many thanks, dude. It's very, very kind and generous of you. It's very much appreciated. No custom livery, guys. That's a current issue underneath. Murph's in the house. Reloading after a 17 foot per minute landing. Nice. That's a nice landing. Want to talk about butter smooth. Uh-oh. Catbat9 gifting out tier 5 tier 1 subs to the community, starting a hype train. Going out to Pi Row Tech, Gibbo, Ireland, Trippin, Flyware, and Flight Sergeant. You're a legend, my dude. Many thanks. And we're already at a level, halfway through a level 3 hype train. How awesome is that? Just been testing this, and every time an issue happened was due to a custom livery. Well, here's the thing, Murph. Even with generic models on, my frames were tanking. So it shouldn't load custom liveries if the generic models are on. Roger that, Papa Joe B. We're at Kilo Romeo November Charlie. And I've got the generic models on for both static ground traffic and for multiplayer. Two-Tone is absolutely right. Philly Roach and Catbat9 being legends today with the gift subs. Many thanks, dudes. It's very, very, very kind of you to do. Got some nice intermission saxophone playing. Actually decided to reload the sim because it seems like we always get a crash right around the second stop, so I'll restart the sim. Why not? Negative, that's where the bug is. The sim is still trying to load. Aha. Well, it sounds like they know what the bug is, so what's there to test? I mean, pardon my ignorance and frankness about it, but it seems like if they know what the solution is, they should know where to zero in. I mean, by all means, if that's the lead, I would honestly, I wouldn't wait too long to start addressing it. That's just me. I mean, I'm not directing that towards you, but it's like, come on, you get a lead, let's go for it. Let's go for it, and if anything else pops up, we'll go after that too. Fire everything. It's a bug. Kill it. Break out the raid cans. Royal Chuck 14 is gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Many thanks, dude. Going out to Ibanez Axman, Jepson 2001, Down in Front, King Crew, and Noel K. Very, very kind of you, Royal Chuck 14. A new legend has entered the arena. Cap at 9, always a pleasure. You're awesome, dude. You're a genuine legend and a scholar. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. That's awesome. Many thanks. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd still be going after it even if I wasn't 100% sure, if I'm honest. At this point, just load all of the barrels into the, load the belt into the Gatling gun and just go for everything, Do go with Tavis, switch from Join FS to multiplayer and all smooth. Roger that. 100% ailerons, good to see you also, my dude. Okay, so we're gonna go into options. We're gonna re-enable multiplayer. See what happens. We're gonna stay on Join FS because, well, we're staying on Join FS. And like a big dingus, I just hit the red X on Join FS instead of hiding it. If there's one thing I wish it could do is hit the minimize button and it would go to system tray. Same with flight events. I wish it would just disappear to the doggone system tray. Make sure that's still going. Yep, that's good. Okay, so general settings, data, make sure that's on. Good to go. Alright, welcome. Go to the world map. Make sure we're on there. Make sure that we select the right time of day. That is not the right time of day, but we'll adjust that when we load the flight plan. So we're going to go. Just testing North Europe. Seems okay. Roger. Yeah, I mean, this community is just one big family, and I couldn't be prouder to be a part of it. It's just amazing. I never thought in my life that I'd be in the position I'm in right now, actually doing things with streaming and being part of a big community. It's kind of nuts. Okay, so we're going from Warren County Memorial to Barwick Lafayette on this next leg of the journey. Do that. Make sure we're on the East USA. I've got 33 millisecond, 45 millisecond. That's pretty good. Flight conditions, live weather, all players, AI traffic off, time set to, we'll call it 8 o'clock. Yeah, we'll call it 7:30. I had both for a while, but didn't like the double up aircraft. Yeah, realistically, if you guys, I would pick one or the other. Me, I'm going to try both. And see how it goes, because that way I'm not seeing double and you're not seeing double. It just makes life easier. That meets our service. I generated a code and added it, etc. I can't seem to get to operate. It just says, well, if you're free tomorrow before or during Murph stream, I'll get you. I'll help you get it set up. Tried into. With the RTN 750, you're gonna want to. There's a way to make the capitals and whatnot, and it should work. Otherwise, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm just waiting to see the first fire. Well, Murph, if you're waiting that long, you might as well just be the first to do it. Be the trendsetter. Set the trend, my dude. Got one in East USA and it's smooth. Gotcha. We'll get you fixed up there, ailerons. I was having trouble getting Navigraph hooked up to the GNS 730, 750, whatever it was, the newfangled one, and couldn't do it tonight. They released an update this morning, and I haven't given it a shot because I was busy, you know, testing out the hype train is complete. I got an emote. I got a 2-2. Level 3. The hype train. That's the word. Completed. May, thanks guys. It's your generosity continues to amaze, astound, and humble myself. Okay, so far so good. I see Pilot Peely there. It's a bit of a glitch there, but that might be just an airplane trying to load in. There's Roger RC. Got Druid in. I just couldn't do it last night, Ailerons. They released an update this morning while I was asleep, so go figure. Alright, so we'll go back to that screen. Alright, so we're in here. Kind of get out, look around. Yeah, it is pretty smooth. For now. Since I turned off multiplayer last week, I've had 0 stutters. Why do I get the feeling that's a P40? Today in things that make you go, The default model matching in Flight Sim can be very confusing at times. Let's figure get as bare metal paint to the default all went smooth. Feel like Epic Fool is in a helicopter. That in and of itself might be causing issues, but who knows? So far, so good. We got Thunderflies with us, so no beacon, so nav lights on, mixture to full, throttle cracked. I'm gonna check that because we want trim set there, fuel on, and clear prop. I did it today, right? Yeah. Right. It was really easy. I wasn't getting the QR code last night when I was trying, so I haven't had the chance to really look into that because I was checking out the P40, which is amazing. Okay, avionics on, taxi light. There is no taxi light. We don't need the landing lights in the middle of the day. Turn that on. VFR, altitude. Make that go to map. Vertical speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nav mode, GPS. And with that, alright, we'll add some power. It's probably in the Coronado folder. I just haven't looked at it yet. Oh, there's a Seminole. Papa Joe. Beautiful looking Seminole there, my friend. Hey, there's the Thunder Geekness. Love it. Yep. I believe that's the Seneca, and I believe that should be given Coronado. Once they announce something, it takes like a week, maybe 2, for them to release it. So I would be shocked to not see it by next Friday. So I'm going to cut in line if you all don't mind. We got another Arrow, got a Mooney, got a Seminole in here, and there's a second Mooney. It's a nice look, and I guess they're introducing a weather radar too, which that's kind of neat. Okay, 1 notch of flaps coming down. Okay, that's good to go. Slowly add the power. That's interesting. Thunder Geeknas are full force. Come on. Come on. Stay on it. Stay on the tarmac. And we're up. Alright. And gear coming up. Feet. Okay. Let's pitch that nose down a bit. Nice little airfield nestled in the countryside of Tennessee. That's fair. Everybody has a taste. I shan't not judge. I shan't judge. I shan't judge. Because everybody has a box they want to tick, and some things are tick those boxes, and some things don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. This honestly has the features that I really am into. Just Like 1 is great. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's a lot more involved, and I don't necessarily want to do that all the time when I'm flying something. You know, if I want to worry about the oil level or the battery charge, or you know how the tires are inflated, I'll get a dang airplane. I'll just get a real airplane, because then I'm going to worry about it, and I can actually, you know, fly a real airplane. This is a simulator. I don't want to necessarily do that all the time. You know, this is supposed to be fun, not work. Cap at 9 showing off the pipe train emotes. It's one of the reasons why I like Big Radio's kind of model. Fly the damn plane. Because they're going to they gave you the realism settings for trying to fly it by the book, but you can also just get in and enjoy the flight. I like having the option. When I'm worrying about tire pressures and stuff, it starts leaning more towards work, and I'm having to worry about this and worry about that instead of just flying, looking at the beautiful scenery. But that's me. Everybody has a preference, and I'm not judging on any of that by any stretch. Live weather changed a little bit. Seems that everybody's off the ground. Here come the Thunder Geeknas. You can even see their shadows on the ground. That's awesome. See, we got 4 Airbuses and a Citation. Yeah, they are doable. What is it that I need to trademark? A lot of times I say things and then I instantly forget them. Before it did limited scenery, the passion was to fly by the numbers that brought a lot of people in the sim. Now they want, brings in many people like to explore the world. It's actually a very good combination. We now have the best of both worlds. Granted, it may not be for both in one on the one sim, but we're going to, yeah, 100%, Murph. This flight simming has never been better out of the box for VFR flyers than Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Never been better. Is it 100% perfect right now? No. The systems and all that, they'll get there. But for those of us that like to just fly and look at the world, it's absolutely never been better. I just like trying to explain why you can't really compare the Just Flight Aero and the KRN-9A5. They have two different feature sets. They're representing two different eras of the plane. It's not fair to compare the two. It definitely seems to be a whole lot better now. Now, I will fully admit, I have my liveries and stuff installed. I'm not necessarily using them, but they're installed. Post-pub pizza eating lurk. Ooh, pizza. That sounds tasty. Warhancer, you need to spend some time on the P40. It's glorious. You're going to love it. So we'll check the flight events, see how that's looking. Definitely have more folks on it, I think. Course, well, it's showing me in the wrong plan. There we go. So we got Arborchetta and November Kilo Romeo 5-4 on the flight tracker. And that's a handy thing. It's out, yeah, it came out 7 a.m. U.S. Eastern, so that puts it about 11 a.m. British Standard Time. They released it at 2100 East Australia. Get it straight from BigRadials.com. Big Radios. Wow, that epic typing failure there, Colonel. Blammo. Right there. That'll also get you the, when they release it, a VIP livery pack that you'll get from free if you buy it straight from Big Radials. If you get it on like Sim Market or whatnot, you might have to pay for it. And you won't get it at all on the Microsoft store when it's out on there. No, I know what you say. You're probably saying, well, hey, look, you know, why aren't you flying the P40? The P40's out. Well, you know, I got a plan for it, though. I got a plan. Thinking. Now, it's worth noting that there is a caravan loaded, and it was showing in an Irish Air Corps scheme. And I seem to be doing okay. Boulder65 is here. Hello to you as well. Hope you're well. We're making our way into Georgia from the state of Tennessee. We have the Thunder Gicknas with us. They're probably flying the F-16, but I currently have generic models on, so they look like airliners. I think it's more amusing this way around, but it's still great. And they shall forever be known now as the Thunder Gignas when on generic models. It's nice to see all the... Ooh, we got a Corsair, and he's on Joint FS. Such a beautiful airplane. So any of the real models, except for maybe the Caravan, if it's a real model and it doesn't have a name tag, they're a Joint FS flyer. If they have a name tag, they're probably going to show up as generic, or they're in a Coronado airplane, or apparently a Caravan. And they're going to have a name tag, but they'll probably look like a generic plane, unless they're in a Coronado plane or apparently a Caravan. We're on the East USA server and on Join FS. There's still quite a few people on Join FS. We have myself, Bodip, Count Zep, Permacona, Arbichetta, Sir Fuzz, and Guacamole. Well, many thanks, Seamus. They finally purged all the botted follows, which took me from 500 and some odd to 400, but I didn't earn the botted follows. So I'm very, very proud that 454 people have liked my content enough to follow the channel. So you have my undying gratitude to all of you, and especially those that have make that 555 with flyware now following. And also a follow from Pilot Peely, making it 456. I don't know. There's a lot of you, and I'm grateful. But I never saw this coming. I never saw myself getting here. It's one thing to dream and think, man, wouldn't it be cool to get to that point? It's another thing to be there, and it's just like, wait, what? This is real? This is actually happening? Well, dang. So I'm incredibly grateful to everybody. The gift subscriptions, the regular subscriptions, all of it. It's nuts. It's genuinely nuts for me to think that. Enough of you out there like my content, and I'm just exploring the U.S. and flying around, and y'all make it what it is. 100%, Seamus. It's like having a place that you know that all your mates are going to be at the pub, and then you go there and you hang out and you have the laugh, you have a few drinks maybe. That's somebody in the ground. But it's just having a great time with friends and really an extended family. It's fantastic. Well, I appreciate that, Dougal. I try to be as inclusive and friendly as I possibly can, and keep everything all chilled out and relaxed. But you all really do make it worth the while, and I'm incredibly thankful, even if I can't always words good, for every single one of you. It's absolutely phenomenal. Dougal, is that a thing? I don't know if I can do it for that, so I'm going to do it for here. Doing a thing. I know it seems self-serving, but I want Dougal to be able to use everything on the channel and get the best experience possible, my friend. Well, and it doesn't look like Seamus does either. Well, I'm going to have to fix that. It seems self-serving, but, you know, I look at it as giving back to you guys for being awesome to me. You know, it's my way of giving back to you guys who have given me so much. You're both you're all awesome. Everybody here is just amazing. You know, whether you're lurking in the chat, whether you're chatting in the chat, whether you're flying along, it all means a lot to me. You're more than welcome, my friends. Y'all have done so much for me, and I do what I can to give back. I think that's the only right way to do it. Well, I try, Magic. I have a lot of past regrets, and I want to be a better person and not be like I used to be. And this family that we've developed in the community of the Fireflies has really changed my life for the better, and it's made it easy to be a better person. So I thank you all for that. And to that, I shall drink some water. Pardon me. It's going to sound weird, but that's some almost dry water. Draco in with the 85s. I wish I still had that font. I missed that font. You're free to drink whatever you so choose. I just happen to have water. My only other alternative at the moment is Dr. Pepper. And water's better for me. So, yeah, the scenery is just absolutely neat. A lot of nice hills and valleys and plateaus and bluffs and trees. Pardon me. Lakes. Flatlands. Only thing it's really missing out on is, you know, desert. That do go over there. There's Whack-A-Mole out there in Arborchetta. Where? They're out near Level Field. So we're right near Chattanooga. Although Chattahoochee is a place, we're just not there yet. Let's see. Coming up on Signal Mountain is out here somewhere. We're about to fly over Marion County Brown Field here momentarily, and off in this direction-ish. There's the Thunder Gickness. Look at him go. It's a really neat area of the world. Not gonna lie. There's a nice river. What's the name of that river? What's the name of that river? Is that the Chattanooga River? It's gotta have a name to it. River. New. Well, let's try a different map. Look at the street map. Lake. Okay. How about not following it? The dude knew what river this is. And let's try that one. That's not as helpful either. But we're just outside Chattanooga. The Chattanooga Choo-Choo. Speaking of choo-choos, it seems that Seamus might be getting into the trainage soon. Let's go to the VFR map. Sequatchie River. Aha. Sequatchie River seems accurate. So we got an airport out there. That's the Marion Brown Field. Then Chattanooga is out that way. Already got it testing it out today. Nice. How's it going, Seamus? Chattanooga choo-choo. Jacob, well, you guys are up ahead of me. That's the river I just passed over. My first love. Oh. Okay, I don't know. My first love is the bus, but this is a close second. Once I get started out with it. Awesome. Look forward to seeing that. We've been getting some bus withdrawals, but glad to know that you're be doing a little bit of busing, a little bit of training. Maybe one day we'll convince you to do a little bit of flying. Then we get you a little bit of driving. You'll be the sim of all the jack of all sims. Let's see, Draco. I appreciate you guys passed over the Tennessee River. That sounds about right. It is a major river, so why not call it the Tennessee River as we go into Georgia? We're about to cross into Georgia. So I'll fully admit I flew this leg last night, but I flew it with live weather, obviously. But I also flew it in live time, so it's dark, so I didn't get to see any of this. And it's pretty. It's called whatever river. And the river will like it. Yes, I approve. Power lines down there. Chattanooga out there. No, wait, we already passed Chattanooga. Chattanooga's back that way. Real beautiful area, though. Kind of reminds me of some of the hills and mountains in North Carolina. I'm most freaked out by how smooth it is. I'm scared. And I know the feeling. Anytime the sim starts acting like smooth and nice and stuff, it's just like, okay, what's gonna happen now? There go the Thunder Gigness. They do such an amazing job flying, and they get better every single time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Epic Fool tried to do a little too much and almost ate it right into a mountain. I'm glad I caught it on camera. But they get, and right as I was saying that they get better every time that they hit Thunder King is killing. Right as I was complimenting on, they're getting better all the time. Yeah, aha. See, you know what you did wrong, so now you know what you need to do. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, they're doing so well. Oh, suddenly they're not doing so well. What a shame. Oh, goodness. It's nice to be flying with everybody. Pardon me, gosh. I had an energy drink. I shouldn't be on it. Whatever. It's nice that the servers have kind of smoothed out for now, allow us to do our flight. We're still on both JoinFS and the East USA Microsoft server. As long as you're on one or the other, you should only see one of me. If you're on both, you're going to see two of me. And, well, the world doesn't need two of me. One's plenty. I need to shave and a haircut. It's not going to cost 2 bits, though. Well, you have a good night, Goblin. Glad to have you along as always. You have a good landing. You have a good rest. And you have a good Friday tomorrow. Pressing buttons dangerously. But if I do it right, you won't notice. Tomorrow night will be good for flying longer. Nice. Google says Catbat9 ran out of fuel while you were alongside. Whoops. Speaking of that, don't forget to change tanks. So now we got a bit of a fuel imbalance, about a Call it an 8-gallon imbalance. And we're indicating a little higher on the altitude. That's fine. Let's hit our directional gyro. That's fine. Check our flight information. Our ground speed's pretty nice. So 140 knots indicated there. Indicated airspeed is about 127. So we're actually making decent time, all things considered. Wow, 2 auto messages at You're saying, well, I did one of those ancestry DNA tests, found out I'm Scottish, only 3% Irish. I don't know how to handle this information. Kilton drinkage, problem solved. I'm a typical American mutt. I'm a little bit of everything. So we're about over the airport. We're going to see if we can't check our frequencies. So AWAS 119.775 and 19. Wind is calm, so we have the pick of the litter. I don't think they're accurate on the cloudage. Enough of that. So we're gonna go for runway, what is it? 02. Oh hush. Okay, we're below gear speed. You're coming down. So we want to have a heading of about 200. Should be the right heading to get us on downwind for runway 20. Flaps out. We'll just extend the downwind a bit so that we can lose the airspeed and the altitude. See, when I lose words, if I do this, if I use my hands enough, the Italian blood in me will kick in and remind me of what I was trying to say. Okay, so we'll make a left turn. I don't want to end too late tonight, so I'm flying ahead to ASN. Roger that, 99 now. No worries. I know I fly kind of late for my European friends. Well, hello to you, Gregor21. Hope you're well. We're making our second landing of the day at 9 Alpha 5 here in Georgia. And then we'll take off from here and head to Talladega. You take a good night. You have a good night, Shuffle Shoes. Glad to have you along as always. You rest well and have a great evening, and we'll catch you next time. Down on the power. Lose that altitude. I'm gonna put that last notch of flaps out. Pitch up with the trim just a little bit. English has been a hard one for me today, too long. Yeah. Words. No, I bet, Kozaki. We can start adding some power in, so they don't go completely below the glide slope. Look at the Thunder Gignus go. Clear the trees. End of the run. Look at the end of the runway. Power coming to idle. There we go. We'll make the taxiway. Flaps coming up. Flaps are up. We'll park off to the side here. Hit the parking brake, make sure it's on. Turn off the engine, turn off the avionics, log the flight, just in case. Hit the insert key. Camera goes to speed mode. Go change that to there, and we're gonna hide me whilst we catch some landings. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? I can't read it. Deep Future is in. So runway 2 open for landings. There's Benevol in a Caravan. There's Cap at 9. There's Scorpio. There's one of the Thunder Gignus. That would be Warhamster. We're zigging and a zagging. I'm wondering if that's the P40. If I'm honest. I don't know what logic, like coding logic that Microsoft does for model matching, but it needs some help. Because if that's a P40, it shouldn't be showing up as a twin-engine airliner. Just saying. That's a little weird. And by a little weird, I mean very weird. You have additional settings in generic mouse to increase variety. That's very true. I thought it only he affected the ground traffic, not the generic models themselves. But still, it should do model matching a lot like vPilot or JoinFS, in theory, where it'll pick something similar and not just anything. It's not I have worms. There's Dougal and Amuni. There's Pilot Peely. There's Roger RC. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh nee. Oh no. That didn't go well for those Thundergickness. There's Wombat 49. Oh dear. There's Test Pilot 72. Please, Hammy, please tell me that's a P40. Because it has to be with it sitting like that on the ground. Ooh, I'm seeing double Kozaki, so double Corsairs. That's really interesting that it's showing. Not as generic. It is? Okay. Interesting. That's very peculiar. If I do say so myself. P40s, it's not too bad. Honestly, I found it easier to take off and fly than the Corsair. It can be tricky to keep the speed up, but that just takes time and practice. Wombat 49. Oh, here we go. We got Papa Joe in with the Seminole. Beautiful landing, Papa Joe. But we got a couple of Thundergickness off up there. Magic 888. There's Wombat. All right. I believe that's Kazaki. There's Pilot Peely. Yeah, see? Benevolt and they're showing up as Irish Air Corps liveries and they're fine. Nice. So Roger was in the P40 as well. Alright. Well, we're going to get set for the next leg. Yeah, that's Kozaki down there in the Corsair. So we'll unhide me. We'll switch to this screen. And then we're going to actually restart the sim just to be thorough, because you never ever know. Yes. A330 tail drag. They thought that if the DC-3 could be successful as an airliner tail dragger airliner, Airbus decided, well, we'll give it a shot, see what happens. They're running through trials. Weren't the Talladega Airmen... you're thinking of the Tuskegee. Talladega's a different thing altogether. But the Tuskegee Airmen, yes, they were the African American wing squadron. Winger Squadron. They're the group of African American pilots. Yes. Yeah, I mean Talladega, Tuskegee. They both start with T, and it's kind of a weird name. Yeah, Tuskegee, also known as the Red Tails because of their iconic red tail. So, fun fact: this song gets my YouTube or gets my streams blocked in Iran, Syria, Cuba. What other? There's like two more. Syria, some other place, but it's fine around the rest of the world. And I don't do anything about it because it doesn't matter to me. Let's see. UT2. Blocked. Okay, so North Korea, Syria, Cuba, and Iran. My videos that you can hear this song distinctly get blocked. Everybody else can watch them just fine. So that's a fun YouTube fact. I don't think many people from those countries watch my content anyway, but, you know, is what it is. Alright, that should be fine. That should be fine. And I like the beat that this song has, so I refuse to stop using it. Kind of like mentioning Tiananmen Square in 1983. Well, I'll have plenty to update on the subscriber list for Sunday. While I'm thinking about it, there's a big GA event tomorrow with Simwings. Sadly, I won't be partaking in it. Kind of taking tomorrow as a disconnect day. And reboot the old system, get some stuff done around the house a little bit. Need that kind of a day. Saturday. Right. Some reason I thought today was Friday. Saturday, there's a big Simwings event that I will sadly not be taking a part of, as it was a pre-planned disconnect day. You know, Friday, Saturday, it's the weekend. You know, one of them days in the week towards the end. Yeah. Okay, so we want to go to 9 Alpha 5 to Talladega Municipal. That should be good. We don't want to start on the runway. We want to start on the ramp. Let's see. We'll start at roughly 10 o'clock. Now we'll give it 30. We started. Actually, we could closer to 9. There we go. Off. Good. And hit the button. Now, whilst that is loading, I'm going to go refill my water bottle, and I'll be right back. Well, I come back and I was getting stutters, so I cycled my multiplayer, and let's see what happens. Okay, so here's an idea. For the next stream, getting late here, you take care, EL. Glad to have you along. Well, the death stutters are back. I thought I had cleared them. Apparently it wasn't meant to be. So, off with the multiplayer we go. Back to Join FS. Make sure that's connected. Yep, it's good. Yeah, I saw that. I had to test it out just to be thorough. Fine, save. So as we get started, we are back on just Join FS. It worked. It was nice while it lasted. The stutters came back. So if you're on the ground, say I tried multiplayer, was bad, went back to just Join FS. Yeah, it worked for a minute. But join another option someday could be a VATSIM GA flight with spacing and so on. That's something we can do as a member stream. Murph, just saying. It's been fun doing that on my Sunday series. Not that that's gone terribly well the last couple of times. But for sure, that would be a fun thing. So as I get the plane started now, if you're able to join FS to join in the flight, now's a good time to do just that. So, fuel selected. Beacon's on. Beacon doesn't exist in this plane. Nav lights on. Is there a beacon? I swear there's a beacon. There is a beacon. There is a beacon, but it doesn't come on with the beacon switch. So here we are, we've got that going. Mixture up to full. Throttle is correct. Parking brake set. Mags both clear prop. And honestly, I can see using Join FS and VATSIM in tandem working out okay. But that's definitely an option for a stream. So avionics coming on. Want to do that. Want to do that. Want to do that. And before we get too far, I'll go to get our frequency set. So we want to tune for 118.425. Turn radio 1 to 122.8. Parking brake coming off. We're going to take off on runway 02. There's a... He's so happy to be here, Corsair. And we'll make our way... Now, see, the wind's calm. We'll be fine. So we'll switch this back to there. Well, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. There we go. That's all I want. Now, it's showing the Just Flight Piper Arrow. They're either in it or they're in a Coronado Arrow that I have to sub out because for some reason JoinFS isn't, well, not for some reason. JoinFS can't find an aircraft CFG file for the Coronado airplanes or the Premium Deluxe airplanes because they're encrypted. Let's see. You have a good night, Mechanical Madness. Glad to have you along. I need to adjust my seat forward. Draco is in Coronado, yeah. So it's JoinFS can't find an aircraft CFG for the Coronado airplanes or for the Premium Deluxe airplanes, which that's where it gets a lot of the information of what kind of airplane it is. So it's a limitation that JoinFS I want to say is working on, but I'm not sure. 99 Owl has landed in Talladega. Time for mattress listening duty. You have a great one, 99 Owl. You take care, and we'll catch you in the next one. That said, we're going to make our own way. No, that wasn't it. There we go. And we want to go up slowly enough to where the prop governor doesn't go too far. And we got liftoff, tap the toe brakes, positive rate, gear coming up. Make sure we're on the right altimeter setting. Flaps coming up. Strobe lights are on. We'll let everybody get airborne real quick. As far as I'm able to tell, everybody is up, so Activated the autopilot. That'll get us in the on the line. We'll just watch the altitude until we hit 3,000. Well, actually, we're going back. Kind of heading in a more westerly direction, so we want to be at an even 1,000 plus 500. So 2,500 feet should be more than adequate. Start dialing back the engine power. And we're on our way. Let's see. So, okay, so how in the world does the patch quit working and work so well? I don't know, Draco. I've stopped trying to understand it. For those of you that can't connect to JoinFS, Naughty Gnome said the dev thinks it's a bug and being worked on. Just keep checking the TTM JoinFS channel for updates. 100%. Thanks for the update, Seamus. I'm kind of hoping he works on the bug with the Coronado planes and the Premium Deluxe, because it's really weird. I don't know what info he can look for, or get the program to look for, to identify that the planes are there without Microsoft or Asobo unencrypting them, which they've kind of made clear that they won't do, which is kind of a shame. By saying kind of a shame, it's a real shame. We got a Firefly up there. See, one thing I can't understand is how a simple program like JoinFS and can work so well when, you know, who's, and JoinFS being developed by a guy basically, you know, in his proverbial shed, and costs nothing, where, you know, the Microsoft and Asobo have, you know, tried to do this peer-to-peer, you know, multiplayer thing, and it's not been as smooth working. That's one thing I don't quite understand. I don't know. Maybe he can work on the multiplayer for... I'm not going to argue that. I hate being negative, but I don't like JoinFS at all. JoinFS all that much in this game. I don't disagree. I like the idea of JoinFS. I like the fact that it allows for multi-platform sims, or, you know, simming. But at the same time, you know, the multiplayer for the sim, the core multiplayer, the integral part of it, shouldn't be so unreliable. Oh, I don't hold my breath on anything, Seamus. I'll ask for the moon, but I expect nothing. I keep my expectations low so that I may be pleasantly surprised the longer we go. We are in a beautiful part of the country, though. Looks like we got some clouds ahead of us. Here, we're going to check our ground speed. Yeah, we're keeping it slower this time around. Whoa. Starting to pick up a bit of a crosswind. Half-hour estimated route time. Route. Let's see if we lower that a little more. We can get 10 gallons an hour. Or we can bump it up and get 11. or we can just kind of go 10.5. Draco asked Seamus, maybe ask him to put in. I think, as I mentioned before, I think it's more of an Asobo limitation, because if Joint FS has the name tags for like X-Plane and FSX and prepared, but for one reason or another, with the way Asobo does, Asobo things, it's not working like it should. I mean, when it's all said and done, I enjoy Microsoft Flight Simulator a lot. Honestly, the only option I have to fall back on is FSX, and gosh, that's painful to look at after experiencing this. But, oh, come on, there you go. I had to think about life for a minute. As much as I'm griping about this and that, and I'm really disappointed that the multiplayer itself is broken right now, it's still a wonderful sim. The sim hasn't been out for a year yet, and it's having growing pains. And unfortunately, a lot of their resources are being pulled into developing for DX12 and the Xbox. The thing I'm worried about the most, though, for their sake, is all the resources they're trying to get for DX12 and for the Xbox is taking so much away from getting the PC version becoming stable. Because if it's unstable and unplayable after launching on the Xbox, it's not going to do well. And I think Microsoft's really putting a lot of, and in my opinion, too much faith in the Xbox version of it, and not counting enough on, the PC flight sim people. Yeah, and I have no doubt about that, Seamus, at all. That's why I as much as I complain about this, that, and the other thing, I like to temper it with, I understand, and I'm not upset. I'm just frustrated with the issues. By and large, I'm happy with it. It's a lot of fun. It's just some of the niggly bits are just, it's concerning on some level, because I want this to succeed. I want this to do well, because it's amazing. It's a lot better than Microsoft Flight was back in the day, which I think that was around 2012, give or take. And that didn't do well. That didn't do well at all. And I want to see this succeed. And so I'm just frustrated for me and having the issues, and I'm frustrated for them because I know they're working hard. But, there's some niggly bits that are just like, come on. Refocus the priorities and let's get this thing stable. Yeah. Well, whatever the fix was, it worked perfectly, so they showed me they can deal with the issue. What concerns me is how more crowded will the multiplayer servers be once the Xbox users are online. Oh, 100%, Papa Joe. And that's what I'm saying is, if the multiplayer on the PC version alone is struggling like this, once you start doing it on the Xbox, it's going to be bad. And, that's going to reflect in sales, which, if they're that focused on the money, they're going to notice that. I'd rather them not have to deal with that, because that's going to end up making us PC users suffer. Because that could possibly end support in general. Possibly. This is all me postulating. I'm speculating. I want this to succeed. I just think that some of their priorities need to be shifted into some more core functionality and stability before adding features like the world updates and new airplanes and whatnot. The Xbox can wait for the core sim to be optimized, then they can start doing, other stuff. And maybe they need DX12 to fix a lot of these things. Then I'd be happy with them putting on hold some of the other features, especially anything, world updates or new airplanes. Put that stuff on hold until after Xbox, until DX12, until the sim itself is, much more stable. Because if this flops on Xbox, it's not going to be good for us either. Put it this way, if you had no sim and you had the choice of either X-Plane or MS or P3D entry levels of each, you choose... Oh, for sure. And that's what I said. I'm very happy with this. It's just I'm more concerned about the long term if they don't fix some of the core features. Will multiplayer be cross-platform? My money says that it's going to be cross-platform because that's kind of the direction that Microsoft's been heading towards for the last couple of years when it comes to gaming. Nintendo's been on board with it. A lot of other publishers have been on board with it. Like Sea of Thieves, you can play cross-platform. You can be playing on a PC and you can play with people on an Xbox. Minecraft is another one. My money says that they're going to make it so you can play cross-platform, and I honestly think that's a good thing. I think the state of the sim as it is now, that's going to be rough when it gets to that point. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'll be happy to be wrong. And like I said, this is all pure speculation. Whoosh Blammo says they confirmed crossplay. Aha, gotcha. So there it is, confirmed. I figured it was a safe bet regardless. Fort Noob cross-platform has made gaming so. I agree wholeheartedly. The only stick in the mud has been Sony. And afternoon, Fort Noob, how you doing? Cross-platform gaming is the future. Let people be on whatever console or PC they want, be able to play games with their friends. That's what it should be about. As far as I'm aware, Sony's still the only stick in the mud not wanting to do it. Which, fine. If I can play a game on the PC and play with somebody on an Xbox and somebody else that's on a Nintendo Switch or whatever, cool. Sucks to be Sony at that point because everybody's going to be having fun with everything else. Sorry, Sony are locked in themselves. That's a fair point, Dougal. Sony's always been on their own island. They're a bunch of sticks in the mud. That's fair. They're their own little Guadalcanal or something. I think once the cross-platform stuff on like the Nintendo platforms, the Xbox platforms, and the PC, once that starts really showing to be a success, which I'm positive it will, Sony's going to get left in the dust and wonder, well, gosh, what happened? Why didn't we try this before? Tried to tell them. That's all on that's all on Sony. It's what it is, though. I like playing games. I like flying Flight Simulator. The more people I'm able to do that with, the better. The problem is when the sim breaks on one of those core features, that's a concern. Not to mention the frustration. I'm positive that Asobo will fix it. I'm positive that they're doing everything in their power to do it. So realistically, complaining about it right now is more of a vent session of, man, this is frustrating. Man, I really wish this would work. It was working, before the update. Because the group flights are a huge, huge draw to this sim. Being able to fly with streamers. I remember when Murph started playing with it just after launch and trying to figure out, okay, well, how does it work? How do we do it? and it was a blast being able to see myself fly with a streamer. It was like, I'd never heard of that. It was cool. You know, it's one thing to play like a shooter with a streamer, but to have the experience of a flight sim do it, and not just the streamer, but a bunch of other people, that's huge. Realistically, they need to hotfix that issue as soon as they find the fixed multiplayer being broken with it. Oh, 100%. Well, 75%. I think I still enjoy the features of the sim for being a VFR pilot, for flying around, because when I'm on my own, it's great. If I have two other people, it's fine. And it's still very enjoyable. But to do the streams and for the streams and for the fun in that respect, it hurts that it's broken, because I love being able to see everybody fly along. You know, that gives me a lot of good feelings, a lot of good vibes, and I'm sure it does with a lot of other people. You know, it's like Fabio was saying when he was test flying the P-40 yesterday. You know, he was supposed to be on the MSFS official channel tomorrow, but with multiplayer being broken, he wanted to do it a group flight, and you know, I applaud him for sticking up for that too, because you know, I mean, Fabio's a great guy regardless, but you know, sticking up for let's get the multiplayer fixed. And Joint FS is great, but it's a great plan B for these. It's much better at doing other things than it is for necessarily group flying, but it's a great plan B while the servers are being fixed. I do 100%, 110% agree that they need to get this, you know, hot fixed ASAP. And like, I'm sure they're working on it and they've got a few leads, but I think they really need to, you know, load all the tubes and fire all the torpedoes at anything and everything that might possibly fix this, because it was fine before the world update, and something in the world update is what broke it. And it was what I found really weird is the fact that it's an old problem. It didn't used to be like this, and then something got reverted to an older state. Did I see a Stinger transition issue? You saw a Stinger transition today. Like if I go to this, sim uses series 100%, Murph, 100%. It's, as a sim on itself, it's great for VFR pilots, multiplayer or no multiplayer. But for those of us that really have been branching out with that, especially with the GA group flying aspect, we're hurting right now. And, you know, that's really putting a black mark on, you know, black eye on the sim. You know, and that's very unfortunate. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what that was about. Close that out. VC runtime. Well, we just keep on going. I can honestly say this: I wouldn't have flown all this time that I have in the sim without the multiplayer and community flights. I'd be playing something else or nothing else. That's 100% fair. Yeah. I didn't have any stutters until the sim locked up, so. Could just be one of those weird geographical points where things get kind of weird. The upside is the flight plans are simple, so I can start wherever. Glad you enjoy it, Fort Noob. It is available on Spotify if you have it. That'll get you a link to it. And everything on it should be copyright free, so it's useful for streams or videos. Oh, really? Well, when I say copyright free, I mean so far it hasn't gotten dinged on YouTube, so far it's worked out well enough. Well, outside of the one that gets me blocked in Iran, Syria, North Korea, and Cuba. Okay, so we're going to KSAN or KASN. Where were we? Here. Not helpful. Flight sim. Don't follow me right now. What did I tell you? It might be hot. We're right about there. Set temperature. Avalon. 2005. Probably won't listen, but. See, does it end with splatoosh? Oh, let's see the angles I won't be getting it back up for a while. Now you have me intrigued. And mildly confused. Doesn't take much to confuse me, but mild confusion is definitely a thing. So New Year's abusers have 2 albums and play me with. Oh, there you go. Didn't want to talk to you anyway. So we want 22. We want nav mode. We want that. Oh, there we go. Murph had me concerned we weren't getting streams anymore. Well, he hasn't said no to that. Wait, not Eagle, Falcon. That didn't make sense, but now it kind of does. Does it? Does it? I'm still kind of confused. Murph raises to find correct burden haze for Lockheed Martin aircraft. Nighthawk? That was a Lockheed Skunk Works project. I got there in the end. Still, though, it's both concerning and confusing as to. I'm very much intrigued as to what the story is. Well, there's always body. Oh, well, yeah. Then you know, there it is. I can play the beer gut. And Dougal with the CTD. Ouch. Well, at least you weren't the only one. Fart someplace. That darn fart button. I'm going to blame Dougal's crash on the fart button. It's just the way it's going to be. I blame the fart button. Our time of day is incorrect. Weather is live. There we go. We definitely have trees. I see some lights. I see more lights. So we'll turn off me for a minute. Thanks to Murphwife with the voice effects. Colonel has to find something for dinner. Colonel also doesn't know what he wants to eat. If I did anything on Twitch, with my sense of humor, I'd be fired as a teacher in a heartbeat once it got down to my work. Yeah, you gotta be careful about that stuff. Man, that's tricky. That's a tricky position to be in for sure. G 60 at 3. So 04 is going to be the better runway. I have to ask Murph questions, and he's going to stay up late, and he's going to be trying to explain to me how I'm doing everything wrong now, or how I have to be careful. Look, I'm getting blocked in some of my videos are getting blocked in Syria, North Korea, Cuba, and Iran. 4 countries I'm not real worried about. DNNCLR Talladega Raceway was built on top of an old Army Air Corps base. Yep, and if you look carefully, you can still see the old runways. About 9 minutes out. It was also the site of, I believe it was Davey Allison's. He was landing a helicopter and ended up crashing it and passed away landing at Talladega. Wasn't a race weekend, but I think he was doing a testing, doing a test. I wouldn't be worried about North Korea for sure. Kim is probably mad about the He's mad at Sony as well. really neat part of the world. Being able to see it from a different perspective. Ah. That's a good heads up, Murph. Yeah, I'll definitely be aware of that. It's good to know. I'll, yes. Yeah, see, this... If the Just Flight one had this livery, I would probably fly the Just Flight one more. But this is such a nice livery, and I just need it in my colors, and I'll be as happy as a clam. Interstate 20 goes between Atlanta and Birmingham. Nice. There's a small little airfield. Listed in there. Looks like it's a little private field. Not showing up on the chart though. So we've got Anniston Regional here. Further out this way is St. Clair County. And right up here is Talladega Municipal. Real fast. Boy, those buildings are suspiciously evenly spaced. Alright, so we're getting close. I'll go ahead and disable the autopilot. We're on a good track. We got the airfield in sight, and we have the track in sight. House trailers. Probably. You know, I love it when they put the schmutz on the windshield textures, because it always has me going, stop, you know, clean off my monitor, and it's on the texture, and it gets me just about every time. Scorpio's landed. Thanks again. I'll have to watch TV before bedtime. Ooh, Jameson nightcap. That sounds tasty. Well, you have a good night, Scorpio. Glad to have you along. Hope you have a good evening. And we shall catch you the next time. So we'll start kind of getting ready for, we can probably go ahead and put the gear down. Gonna give the track a bit of a wide berth so we can have a look at it as we turn around for landing on, was it 04, 03? One of those runways. 04. Aha! The power of the GNS 430. So we're coming up on the airfield and the racetrack. Landed at Talladega after a circuit around the track. Reminded me of working at Daytona in the mid-60s when I was at Embry-Riddle. Nice. See, this is the little schmutz that keeps getting me. Because it's just like, I see it there. I want to scratch it off, but I know that it's on the texture. Driving me bonkers. Okay, let's put mixture and prop to full. Start reducing throttle. Trim the nose up a bit. So that we got the main airport here. And you can kind of see where the old runways were. So here and here. And here were the old runways. Then you have the new airport runway there. Oh, nice. Yep, so you had a runway here, you had a runway here, and a runway here. Got pit road here, start finish line is about right there. These don't look like grandstands at all. That doesn't either. You can see all the infield space in here. Kind of nuts. So yeah, there's Talladega Super Speedway. Now we'll refocus back onto flying. We have the threshold in sight. We're going to pitch up so we lose speed. We're going to throttle down. Runway 04 is clear. Roger. That second notch of flaps in. Now that's a scenic approach, isn't it? Back in the day, there was a car that got wrecked and went up and... Oh, maybe that was at Daytona. It's either here or Daytona, where a car wrecked, they went into the fence, and it's before the concrete walls, and they just had like those interstate guardrails, and went up and over and down. My passengers love me. Well, I do. They're gonna love me until this landing. They might not be so happy afterwards. Ooh, look at that! Ain't that something? Oh, that was Daytona? Okay. It's one of the two. I remember that much. And I don't know why there's a building in the middle of the backstretch. Well, it's not quite in the middle of the backstretch, but, you know, you get what I'm saying. It shouldn't be there. Okay, throttle's going closer to idle. Flaps are full. Throttle idle. I'm going to do a bit of a sporty landing. Just a light wind. Losing speed. Look at that. That felt a lot lighter than 59 feet per minute, I'll say that. 1.02 G. That I can accept. Alright, what's that? Flaps coming up. Strobe lights off. Eh, 172, I could be showing up as worse things. I did a few runs like butter, including the one that was uninstalled and installed again. It was worse with that update and uninstalled, following the VR bang for buck performance guide from the MSFS. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to stop, see if there's any landings coming in. Mixers off. Make sure it stops. Avionics come off. Hit the continue button. Battery off. That. And if nothing else, we'll have a nice look at the track. So, camera, increase that speed. We'll hide me for a minute. See how things go. We got one set of lights out there. Got more lights coming that way. Ooh, we even have a Corsair. So yep, there's the back stretch. You can see almost see the lines. Not sure what this is supposed to be, but that's not there. Intersection of the old runways. There's a tree on the front stretch. There's the start finish line right there. There's pit road. I would love to see the likes of iRacing or Turn 10 Studios or somebody that does racing games or racing sims make a track pack for Flight Sim. I think it would be amazing because trips like this would be so much better if the tracks always looked legit, even in photogrammetry. Just saying. I looked at the latest pic of the school, not so much desert anymore. That was a nice landing. Right? So here's one. Xbox are close to releasing cloud gaming, essentially letting you play your Xbox games remotely through a web browser. This is massive news because that could enable you to play some games without having the hardware. That'd be neat. It'd all be down to your internet connection though, and that could be make or break. Well, Mr. Winokur, if I check my schedule for flight plans. Let's see, Coda. Where is Coda? Talladega, Kansas. Atlanta. I know I've done the flight plan for it. Charlotte, Coda, May 20th. You'll get your answer. Nice landing. So yeah, we need track packs. Microsoft, Asobo, iRacing, Turn 10, somebody. We need track packs. Because look what they've done to my baby. That's not my baby, but it's the point. So again, massive gratitude to the new follows, all the gifted subscriptions, for just being in the chat, for chatting in the chat, for all of that stuff. I'm eternally humbled and very grateful for it all. Let's see who's online. Who's online? You know what? I think we could do that. We could do that. We could do that. We could do that. So we're going to do a raid after this, but again, I'm very humbled and grateful for everything. Really, I wonder if they'll even allow it. We'll give it a shot. Man, my brain's Swiss cheese. Thank you for everything. All the likes, the follows, the subs, the gifted subs, the chat, and even just viewing. I'm very grateful, very humbled. Many thanks. And until next time, be good to each other, stay safe out there. We'll catch you next time. Take care.